Good afternoon. My name is Marv Fruth, and I belong to the Vallejo Sister City Association. I was in the Navy, about 45 years ago, and I was stationed on Okinawa. That's where I met my wife. After I got out of the Navy, I brought my wife to the United States. We lived in Richmond for about 15 years, and we moved up to Vallejo in 1977. So I've been here about 34 years now. We moved here to buy a new home. Being my wife was Japanese, we had a little difficulty finding some new friends in Vallejo. She had all kinds of friends down in Richmond, but not in Vallejo. And by going to the farmers markets and the grocery stores, my wife found or got acquainted with some of the Japanese wives in the area. And that's how we got connected with the Vallejo Sister City Association. We got involved, we went to a few meetings and all that, and then in 1978, we had the opportunity of hosting a couple teenage boys that had come over for a home visit. And since that time, about 10 years after that, we have hosted, I think, almost any time somebody from Japan has come to Vallejo. So we've had 15, 20, 25 different people have come to our home and stayed for 3-4 days. And while they're here, we go through all kinds of activities with the Sister City Association. And also we have some free time so that we can take any of our guests anywhere they'd like to go. As long as it's not Yosemite. Too far away, we try to avoid. But San Francisco, the wine country, that sort of thing, is some of the things that they want to see. And they really enjoy the home life because the homes are so much different than they are in Japan. So we've had a lot of fun. I started hosting again after my wife passed away in 2004. So I went on the last trip to Akashi, Japan in 2007, and I stayed with a family, with a husband, wife, and 2 college kids. I had my own room. I had to sleep on the floor and all that sort of thing, and eat a lot of Japanese food. It was really nice. I didn't have too much of a hard time simply because my wife was Japanese, so I got familiar with all types of Japanese food, so they had no problem feeding me. And besides the activities from the city of Akashi, my hosts took me to a couple different castles. We went to a sake factory and things like that, things that, weren't on the agenda for the city of Akashi. When we went over in 2007, I went along with the high school baseball team. The city of Vallejo rounded up some students from each one of the 3 high schools. And so they formed a team and went over and competed against the Akashi team. So we had a good time. This last year, I hosted 3 teenage girls when they came for a visit. I had a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 15-year-old girls staying at my home, which is kind of interesting. I never realized that, I would never send my kids, 13 or 14 years old, across the country or across the ocean. So I was kind of surprised. And then I hosted 2 ladies from the Tokyo area who were here for the Grassroots Summit in the Bay Area. So I've had 5 guests this last year. And the family that hosted me when I was in Akashi are coming to the United States this year, and they're going to Chicago to go to a wedding. And on their way back from Chicago, they're going to stop in San Francisco, and they asked to stay with me for about 3 days. So when they come to Vallejo now, I'm going to be able to give them tours and show them anything they want to see. So I told them, if you ever come to the United States, make sure you let me know. So I've been told that they'll be here in August. As a matter of fact, they're coming the next day after our guests from Akashi leave. we have people theoretically coming to Akashi from Akashi this year. So it's going to be a busy time. One of the benefits of belonging to the Sister City Association is that you get to meet a lot of different people and you learn a lot about different cultures. Unfortunately, I've only hosted the Japanese families, and because the city of Akashi sends a lot more delegations over here than any of our other sister cities. We have a total of 6 sister cities. But I've been hosting primarily, in fact, all Japanese guests. And it is so much fun hosting and seeing how the people appreciate and how surprised they are of certain things. The young gals that I had, the teenagers this past year, had never seen a turkey, for instance. So I had a frozen turkey in my refrigerator or in my freezer, and I took it out, and each one of them had to take pictures of it. Everything I showed them, they had to take a picture of. And I had the 3 gals each took pictures. So they were surprised by a lot of things. And the big houses. So it was fun. I am the treasurer of the association. My only job in the association right now is to handle the money. I do the collections, I pay the bills, that sort of thing. I've also got another side job now with the association that is for our dinner auction coming up, and I'm like the co-chair for obtaining items for the auction. So I'm going to be a very busy fella here in the next couple of days. I just hope that the citizens of Vallejo, after they see the broadcast, will join our association and get to experience meeting new people and learn about different cultures of our 6 sister cities. Maybe even go on one of the trips with us when we go traveling to our friends around the world. So, thank you very much.